With the release of Seedance 2.5 and Claude Code, I found a way that you can literally clone almost any YouTube channel, whether it's documentary, history, true crime, 2D animation, Pixar style, pretty much any channel like this that's getting millions of views and making money. And after hours of research, I found the perfect blueprint that you can use to start your own faceless YouTube automation channel in any niche. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through the entire process step by step. I'll show you how to find YouTube channels that are actually making money. I'll show you which tools you need, where to get them, how many credits we actually use on them, and how to automate as much of this process as possible so you can start cashing in on faceless YouTube automation today. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is find a channel that you want to model. Now, I know a lot of you might be thinking that the best thing to do is replicate the biggest channel you know that you've been following for years. But actually, if your goal is to make money, we need to go deeper than that. Instead of looking at channels that blew up years ago, the best thing to do is to find a channel that's performing well now. You basically want to go and find channels like these that have blown up in the last 6 to 12 months. The reason for this is because these channels are what we call outlier channels, which means they're getting far more views than they have subscribers, showing that they're performing well now. And I went and did some of this research for you. I put a list of outlier channels in the description below that you can go through to find something that makes sense for you. The next thing you want to do is use a tool like Social Blade that is free or vidIQ that is paid, and you can actually see how much these channels are making. Like for example, this channel that has 1.2 million followers from just 68 videos is a great outlier piece of inspo. I've noticed a lot of small channels like this are blowing up right now, so I'm making a full walkthrough on this soon. Make sure you're subscribed. But for today's video, the style that I'm going to be replicating is this channel because I know a lot of you have asked for it and it's very hard to figure out how they do this. Step 1, setting up the system. First, we need to install Claude Desktop from their website and log in. Once you're logged in, I want you to open the sidebar on the top left. We're going to see a few different modes in here. Claude Code is the one that we want. This is the version that's actually going to work with the files on your computer, and it's basically going to be able to run things in the background fully automated like a YouTube automation channel. Now we're going to plug in the engine that's actually going to generate the visuals for us. You're going to come over to Higgsfield, create an account, and then find the MCP and CLI section. Here I want you to click CLI. Here you will see this prompt given. All you got to do is copy and send this to Claude. Claude will run a few commands and ask for a few permissions. Allow them all. That's it. Now Claude Code and Higgsfield are connected and they're going to be able to work together for you. And this is what's going to turn the rest of this video into a copy and paste automation. Step 2, adding brain and laying the foundation. Now here's the brain that's going to make this entire system work. This is the master prompt. I built this out for you so that Claude runs as an actual production pipeline. It's 11 stages in order from branding to thumbnails. Again guys, all this is going to be in the description so you can just follow along. You're going to copy it and then paste it all over into Claude Code and just send it. What this prompt does is basically turn Claude into a content engine for you. It knows how to take any channel, break down why it works, and then rebuild that style for you. As soon as you send the prompt, Claude is going to ask you one question. What channel do you want to replicate? So now we can just type in the channel name that we're replicating, and if you have the URL, that works too. But aside from just giving Claude the name, I've noticed that it works best if you actually describe the channel. So I'm going to do that here. So since we're replicating this channel that has millions of subscribers, we're going to describe it as documentary style channel that covers real events and historical stories using 3D visuals. And then if you really want to take this to the next level, you're going to actually include screenshots from those channels. In fact, it's even better if you choose a few channels that are all in the same niche. So I found a few more channels that are very similar, and then we're just going to drop these screenshots in, add our short description, and send it all into Claude Code. So when it comes to names, descriptions, and logos, Claude Code can actually take care of all of that for you as well. For me, it came back with names like these, which honestly fit perfectly for what we're trying to do here. I'm going to go ahead and choose this one because I think it's the best fit for this channel. So then you're just going to type next, and Claude is going to move you onto the next stage, which is scripting. This is a step that a lot of people skip, and it's exactly why their scripts end up sounding like AI and sometimes get demonetized later on. If you want Claude to actually write scripts like the channel you're referencing, then you need to follow this process. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over to the channels that you're modeling and open some of their most viral videos. Watch a bit of it so you understand the structure, and then scroll down to the description and click Show Transcript. I want you to select the entire thing, copy it, and paste it over to a Google Doc. Then I want you to go do this for 5 more more videos in the niche that have done well. And just a quick disclaimer before anyone gets weird in the comments, this video is educational. I'm not showing you how to copy anyone's scripts directly. Obviously, you don't want to do that because it won't work. That is copyright and your channel will get deleted or demonetized immediately. Instead, what we want to do is study a winning format. The pacing, the structure, the visual language of a proven niche. It's the same thing that every screenwriter does for movies, every musician does for songs, and of course, every big YouTuber does this as well. That's why you see so many of your favorite YouTubers basically copying the same format that other YouTube videos have run that have been successful. We're going to take that and use it to build something that's completely original, our own story, our own script, our own visuals. So once you have your transcripts, you're going to save them all into one PDF and upload that PDF into Claude Code. I'm just going to type transcripts attached and click send. Now Claude is reading through these scripts and pulling out the DNA, the hook structure, the tone, the cadence, the pacing, all the things that keep a viewer watching. And from this point on, all of the videos that it generates are going to follow that same exact pattern. Once Claude finishes analyzing these videos, it's going to ask you if you already have a video idea. As we don't have one, so we're going to say no. And if we read through the titles, I mean, these are directly on point. Now we're going to pick the one we want to make. So I'm going to go with this one, just type the number and send it. Before scripting anything, Claude asks you how long do you want your video to be. So I'm going to say 10 minutes. And then watch what happens when it starts writing. This is not some generic AI voice. It's following the exact cadence of the transcripts that we fed it, the structure's right, and the hooks land where they're supposed to. Now, think of yourself as a director here. I want you to read through this and see if something feels off. If it does, tell it now, because this works like a conversation. You can basically tweak this by just going back and forth a few times. And this is a big reason that I'm using Claude Code for this instead of some ChatGPT chatbot. Basically, it doesn't choke on long outputs. You can actually push this to 4,000 words and it's just going to keep writing for you. Anytime I use ChatGPT, it basically gives me way less words than I ask for, and it's really frustrating. And yeah, I kind of have a long history with Sam Altman, so that's a story for another time. But once you're happy with the script, you're just going to copy the finished script over into a Google Doc so you don't lose it, and then type next here. Step 4, generating visuals. Now we're at the visual image stage, and this is going to work just like the transcripts did. Claude is going to need some references. So again, go back to the channels you're modeling and screenshot the kind of shots that you want. The characters, the lighting, the overall look. You're going to need at least 5 images for this to work well, so try to pick some of the best ones you can find. I'm also going to go ahead and describe the reference style. So I'm going to say these 3D stylized figure shots with dramatic lighting, and I'm going to feed that to Claude so it does its best work. Now Claude is going to study these frames and work out the visual DNA that we need. The lighting, the color grade, the camera angles, the whole aesthetic to make images like this for us. So from now on, every image prompt that it writes is basically going to carry that baked in, which is going to keep our video looking consistent instead of a bunch of random shots that have no consistency. Now I want you to type, I need prompts for my script. And this is one of my favorite parts of the entire blueprint. Claude's going to go back through your entire script and map out every single visual beat. That's going to be a visual for every moment of your 10-minute long video. No guessing, no trying to figure it out on the fly. Claude is doing all of that for you. We have a detailed image prompt for every scene, each one carrying out the full visual style, so every image looks the same. And again, this is where Claude Code absolutely crushes, especially when it comes to Seedance, because you can generate 700 or 800 of these if you need to. Okay, so now we're moving into image generation, and this is where that Higgs-field connection that we set up at the start really pays off. Literally a few months ago, you would have had to gone into Higgs-field and prompt every single one of these yourself, but now Claude is going to do all of that for us at a very high level. The reason Higgs-field's the right engine for this is because everything is in one place. We have Nano Banana Pro for images, Seedance 2.5, which is insane for video, plus they have Seedream, Flux, Kling, they have everything you need in here. So back in Claude Code, instead of copying prompts anywhere, you're just going to tell it, generate all the images using Higgs-field skill, Nano Banana Pro 16:9 for YouTube. And as you can see, it's generating all of our scenes while I do absolutely nothing. So after about 10 minutes, we're going to check the results. We're going to head over to our Higgs-field account, click onto your images, and wow, here they all are. So just going through these, we can see that they're all the same style, the same world, and it really did a good job on that consistency element. Now, one thing to mention on quality control control here, I want you to spot check. If you notice something that you don't like or that it missed, just tell Claude to regenerate scene 47 or whichever scene is missing, and it'll go ahead and redo that. Again, you're not actually doing this all yourself. All of this is automated if you do it right. And just in case the CLI setup was too much for you, the manual route still works too. You're just going to copy each scene prompt from Claude, paste it over to your Higgsfield image generator under Nano Banana Pro 16:9, click generate, and you're going to get the same results. It's just a little bit slower and it's more work for you. But honestly, the 3 commands from earlier are totally worth it. Makes everything automated and I highly recommend it. Step 5, animate with Seedance 2.5. This is the step that's going to bring this entire process to life. And again, Seedance 2.5 just released and it is crazy. First, I want you to know that this step is optional. Some niches work perfectly fine with still images and almost no editing. Claude's going to ask if you want video prompts for your niche, so just say no and skip ahead if you don't need them. But for us, we do. And I want to show you how good Seedance 2.5 is. So for this, I'm going to say yes. And when you do, Claude is going to go back through the script and write animation prompts for each of the scenes. This is going to include camera movements, subject motion, atmosphere, and because it remembers the scene map, you get the same amount of prompts, and they're going to be numbered to match your images 1-to-1. So there's nothing for you to figure out here. And again, this is why staying on one platform, aka Higgsfield, is going to make your life a lot easier. Still inside Higgsfield, we're going to switch over to the video generator and pick Seedance 2.5. This is ByteDance's newest video model, and it is the best one on the market by a landslide because it holds character consistency across shots, it handles camera motion cleanly, and you can feed it multiple references for a single generation. But I want to try to save you guys some credits here. You don't need to animate everything. Video generation burns credits faster than anything else does, and you definitely don't need video generation for every single one of your scenes. So here, I want you to go through your scene list and pick the ones that look the best and that need that motion in them. I'm going to choose between 15 and 30 of them to start. Then it's the same play as the images. We're going to tell Claude to generate videos for all the scenes using the Higgsfield skill Seedance 2.5, and we're going to use each scene's image as the start frame for that video. Then it's going to run the whole batch for you. But again, if you want to do it manually, all you're going to do is come over to Higgsfield's video generator, upload your image as the start frame, and then paste the matching animation prompt and click generate. And while these are generating, I'm going to show you the first one, and oh my gosh, this is insane. I mean, the camera work, everything in this is wild. YouTube might be cooked, movies, Netflix, everything might be cooked from this. This is crazy. Step 6, thumbnails. And honestly, this might be one of the most immediately useful parts of this entire blueprint. We're going to use the same pattern as before. Claude needs references. Go to the model channels and screenshot some of their best performing thumbnails and upload like 5 of them. Next, I want you to type thumbnails attached and click send. Claude's going to basically reverse engineer their entire formula, the text treatment, where the subject sits, the lighting, and then it's going to give you a set of thumbnail concepts designed for your specific video. Look at that. The text is right, the contrast is right, and it's all perfect in size. This is an uploadable thumbnail with 0 Photoshop, and I used to have to pay a lot for thumbnails, and it's just crazy that AI can do this now. If there's anything that you don't like, obviously you're just going to tell Claude and Higgsfield what to change, ask for another concept, and iterate until it's right. Step 7, generate the voiceover for this video. We can stay inside of Higgsfield and use one of their voiceovers, or you can come over to 11 Labs. If you're inside of 11 Labs, I like using voice design because it actually creates a voice that sounds like what you want for this video. So I'm just going to describe the voice that I want in this video, and then I'm going to click generate. And once I have one that I like, I'm just going to paste over the script that Claude gave us, and I'm going to have this entire voiceover generated for our video. And I've noticed that it really helps inside of 11 Labs if you cut out the dead spaces in between the sentences. That way your video is as punchy as possible. Step 8, editing. So there's 2 things that we need to mention here. First are your assets. Right now, all the images and clips are live in Higgsfield servers, not your machine. So inside of Claude Code, we're going to ask it to download everything locally, and we're going to name it each file by its actual scene number. And this is the move that's going to make your editing process extremely simple. You can pull up CapCut, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut, whatever you use for editing, and then you're just going to drag the file names in order from what Claude gave you. Now, when you're editing, you might want to add some captions or some transitions to just make things as smooth as possible. I've noticed that really works here. The last thing that we need to do is just paste over the voiceover. You probably also want to add some background music, as these videos perform well with a song that matches the vibe of what's going on in the video. I've put some of my favorites in the description below for you, and let's check out what we actually made here.
It's a Wednesday afternoon, July 15th, 2020. Somewhere in California, a Twitter employee is working from home. The pandemic has emptied the offices. Everyone is a face on a screen now. His phone rings. It's the IT help desk. There's a problem with the company's VPN, a known issue. They've been fixing it all week. The voice on the line is calm and a little bored. Caller knows his name and which team he's on. To fix the issue, caller walks him to a login page that looks exactly like the one he uses every day. So he types in his username, his password, and his two-factor code. And just like that, he hands the keys to the loudest platform on earth to a stranger.
That is so crazy. I just can't believe that AI is able to do this. I'm actually mind blown. And if it says anything, I'm up at 5:11 in the morning because this is just blowing my mind and I can't sleep when this is happening. You now have a video that holds its own against some of these giant channels with massive production teams. And actually, let's zoom out for a sec and realize what just happened. Claude Code and Seedance 2.5 just put together an entire video for us. It handled the branding, it learned a proven style on YouTube that actually gets views, it wrote the script, it mapped out every scene, and then Higgsfield generated all the images, and Seedance 2.5 put together every single video clip that we need to make an entire video. I'm gonna drop the amount of credits that it took to make that 30-second sample so you can have an idea for how much this would cost. And I know not everyone has the money to create these videos with AI, but if you think about it, creating something like this used to take weeks, if not months, and be impossible for normal people like you and me. The fact that you can do all this in less than an hour using AI is crazy. Not to mention that starting almost any business does take money. Now, our last step in this video is actually uploading this onto YouTube. And here's what I'm gonna do for you in this video. I'm not just gonna tell you that this might work. I'm gonna be uploading this and several other videos in other niches and showing you that this actually works and sharing with you the amount of views, the retention, if it actually makes money, if it gets demonetized, all the things that show that this is an actual business. And if you haven't followed my channel for a long time, this channel actually started as an AI influencer. It's always been my voice, but at the beginning of this channel, I never showed my face. It was all an AI influencer. My point is, if I can do it, so can you. YouTube has changed my life in so many ways, and I know so many of you can do the same. All the master prompts are in the description below. I can't wait to see what you guys create, and with that, I will see you on the other side.